Tumekuja na tunaanza hivyo. Thank you so much and welcome. This is the Trumpet of Hope. Autiro dutagaja tuekuo. Tumekuja. Uko vipi? Gutire mundu mukenu tani ni nguhoka ati wi mwega na wina thayo haria hothe ungikorwo ri. Niletee wawili watatu kisha tutaendelea. Pole ni dashererwo no ti kwenda gwakwa nyuma kuriaga kimahando ndekora ni dashererwo. Ngikiona tumagego twakwa twina kindu ndinahota kuingira gicicio-ini kwirora no ndukana make. Sylvia Wawero, umepotelea wapi? Happy New Year. Can we share this broadcast to a live then wa app to your Captain RTV ni drono guona ni drona ni hega. By the way, ni drona ni hega app to your Captain RTV. And guess what? Our website is just beautiful. It is new, it is beautiful, it is looking good. Watu wa kule tunaita Maryland, I have one of your very own. Adoa East Coast, niko hapa kwa wingi. Togu radika hau ogwo umuthi turariria maundu very interesting. Nwiri igwa maundu maria very interesting nimo turariria umuthi. Kwa hivyo usiende mbali. I want you to come here and listen to what Dr. Harriet Kamendi has for us. Adoria masharirwo Moro na Njoro na Nakuru County. Gaka ni kanyu gwiciarira agicomorwo kou akiuga ni ekwenda guthie gwika research githoma CV yake ni nene na ni ndaya. Umuthi uyu ni egututariria maundu maingi. Ndiganirwo igua horo wa kindu gitagwo CBD. Andu aria makoragwo thiini wa bururi wa Amerika ni mekumenya ndagweta CBD ni mekumenya ni kuga atia, ndagweta uguo ni mekumenya ni atia ndoiga. Leo tuko huko. I'm a lover of Lingala music. Ndrera mundu mwe athondekere beats cia Lingala. I love it. Charles Geshoki uthondekere iwe gitondu ndigake guikara one mwetu. So let us share our broadcast with our friends. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Trumpet of Hope. Niguthaka ni kwega. So far so good. Na wagitua no gitwire kana ni tuikarite wega kana ukijire kana ni urajigwa no kajigwa na njira ri yagirire. Nigetha tukiaragia na ndagitari kana ngita Dr. Harriet akiingira haha at least akore maundu mothe ni mavange na njira njega. Ama vipi maundu mothe akore ni mavange na njira njega. Asante sana wherever you are. Na aria makiri kuria Jamhuri tafadhali mwagiukira ndiramya ni gukiire mugitwire kana turiega ona ithu. I want to take this opportunity gucokeria mundu gwitwo Rachel Ngige na Gian gatho muno ni tondu wa gutu promote thiini wa page yao. They really promoted us yesterday and we are so happy for them. It is good to have people mari kuheaga kiheo riria wi muoyo, magakuhe kiheo riria wi muoyo, magagu promote riria wi muoyo, not go to kuheaga andu iheo riria mundu arikiria guthie. We are live on our app. Ogwo andu aingi muno matigikorwo me thiini wa Facebook Twi live thĩinĩ wa YouTube channel ya Trumpet of Hope. Ũguo ũngĩtwaga thĩinĩ wa Facebook no twĩrorere thĩinĩ wa YouTube, na watwaga hau no tũthikĩrĩrie thĩinĩ wa app ya Captain RTV, na hau nĩ ũgũtũthikĩrĩria wega ona wĩ wĩra-inĩ. So once again, welcome. Na ufurahie, karibu sana, na ufurahie. Ndĩrenda gũkũrehera mũgeni wa mwanya mũno, na nĩndĩramenya nĩtũgũthoma maũndũ maingĩ. This is a very special person. Mũndũ gĩtwo patient ya dia Okai, andũ a Seattle, Washington. Haha twĩna wĩra mũnene mũno wa gũthoma ũmũthĩ. Very, very good. So one on one. That is Dr. Harriet Kamendi. Welcome. Very, very good. Very, very good. Karibu sana, utugeithie.
Muriega andũ a Captain RTV. I'm happy to be here, and I hope we are going to share and learn about cannabidiol together.
Thank you so much. Kule andũ aingĩ mũno mangĩenda kwamba kumenya who is this that is being called Dr. Harriet Kamendi. Reke tũngũhe ndagĩka o ĩmwe tu ya agũtwĩra Dagitari Harriet Kamendi no.
Harriet Kamendi is a wife, a mother, a sister, a daughter, and niece, and a friend to very, very many. And Jariro Nairobi, no nyumete Muranga, kahika ria. And so I dadarĩirwo Nairobi, ndathomeire Nairobi, ngĩcoka ngĩthiĩ high school Thika, ngĩcoka ngĩthiĩ university Njoro, ngĩcoka ngĩũka America.
Thank you.
Yes.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, I've been here 20 years, maybe 21. Ndokire ndĩkĩtie degree, so ndaingĩrĩire graduate school gũkũ ngĩthoma, ngĩcoka ngĩrĩkia na ngĩandĩkwo wĩra. And throughout I've worked as an employee of somebody as well as an entrepreneur. And during my entrepreneur phase nĩrĩo ndamenyire ũhoro wa cannabis. And kuma hĩndĩ ĩyo nĩndutaga wĩra nayo na nĩthondekaga tũindo here and there. And my goal nĩ gũthondeka andũ to improve people's quality of life, one, but secondly, to see if I can change a story somewhere here in the US and in Kenya too. Yes.
That is very good. Now, tugire will mix our language. Ũguo nĩ tũkwaria Gĩkũyũ na twaria Gĩthũngũ nĩgetha to accommodate andũ aingĩ na tũkene tondũ rĩmwe Gĩthũngũ nĩ gĩtuĩkaga so serious. Gĩkũyũ nakĩo nĩ kĩlimitaga andũ. So we want to make sure that at least we are as liberal as we can when it comes to the language. Why CBD?
So when I started learning about it, or when I started working with it, ndeciragia no, twamenya nĩ tũĩ bangi Kenya ũrĩa ĩkaga andũ, nĩ tũĩ maũndũ maingĩ. So when I went in, mũndũ ũrĩa anjĩtĩte ndĩmateithie ku understand addiction and how cannabis can help to alleviate addiction. So going in ndeciragia, this is an open shut, ngũhingũra ndĩmere no, it is not a good product, it causes addiction. But instead of that, the product changed me. So and I started going into details and studying about it. Now, in my quest for that knowledge, I discovered that it was a compound that we should be taking a second look at, and we should not discount because it has healing powers for many reasons. I don't know if we should go into the reasons right now or tuikaikũrũke hanini.
Twambe tuikaikũrũke hanini. Ithuĩ tũĩ wagweta vangi. One, ndũrĩ mũhonoku. Two, wi mundu unginyitwo kinya ni thirikari kuma kuria mucii guku ni magithiete makihuthaga, and then twibangi ni kindu kiuru muno.
Yeah.
So how do we get from that belief to what you are telling us about now?
I want to start by saying history is written by the person who's trying to tell a narrative. Higoshiyode. So the storytellers of cannabis started this story from halfway, not even halfway, maybe 70 years ago. No, we are actually approaching maybe 90 years since the story starts. But this product starts way before 90 years ago. It starts 2,000 years ago and beyond. The plant has been growing wild globally across the world. And it has many properties that we like, that we can use for recreation, for starters. It has been used to give people a high. So ogenda gwikara uri mukenu ni ta njohi, inyuagwo ta njohi. And therefore, that is the part that we have learned about. What we forgot to learn about is the actual reason why that plant actually interacts with our body and makes us feel high. At the same time, because of that story that was written about cannabis and it being a drug that causes intoxication, the whole story about cannabis as a healing plant was buried. Why was it buried? There are two things happening in history at this point. One is the paper industry was coming into being, and two, tobacco farmers were trying to improve their product. Now, in every community, Korea Kwarina cannabis, the people were smoking interchangeably. But tobacco has its own issues. So people would tend to smoke cannabis more than tobacco. So if the cannabis farmers wanted the story of tobacco to take hold, they had to shut down cannabis. So that is one line of information one line of historical information that has been buried to date. The second part was the paper products. The cannabis plant, etagwa marijuana or hemp, is good. It produces good fiber that makes paper and a thousand other products that we can use every day. So the paper manufacturers were seeing a competition from the hemp farmers, and so when they lobby the government, whoever is a stronger lobbyist wins. And so the paper lobbyists won, and therefore cannabis was buried. So we buried a plant for no good reason, number one. And then we spent another 30 years, from 1930s all the way up to 1970s, creating a body of knowledge that only looks at the harmful effects of cannabis. Nobody ever bothered about everything else that goes on in that plant. Now, let me come back to cannabis itself. The plant has 100 chemicals in it. When these chemicals are balanced, they are healing to our bodies. Why are they healing to our bodies? Because our body contains a protein that interacts with that cannabis product. So, of the 100 chemicals, there are two major chemicals present in the plant. THC and CBD, or cannabidiol. Tetrahydrocannabinol or cannabidiol. Now, THC, niyo ya kurevya. So when a plant grows with a lot of THC in it, it causes a high. When you take it, it gives you a high. It interacts with one receptor that is known to induce a euphoria, a nice high. People like it, among other things, because it doesn't just give you a high. It has been used to treat people with cancer who are experiencing nausea, maheagwo cannabis, maheagwo THC. ne dawa nega tablet kedagio in the shop. The doctor can write you a prescription, and you can go to the store and buy Marinol. It's called Marinol, and the other one is called Dronabinol. These are two approved drugs globally that are available to patients who are undergoing cancer and are experiencing nausea. That's one. The other product is the cannabidiol.
The
Cannabidiol,
CBD.
yes, the CBD interacts with other receptors other than that one that causes a high. And in fact, today what we know is that when CBD binds to that particular protein that causes the high, it reduces its ability to cause a high. So it has a lot of therapeutic value. It can be used today it has been approved to treat epilepsy, or what we call treatment resistant epilepsy. So this is the government trying to narrow down how many people can use it. However, I would posit that this plant is the least harmful plant that we know of that has therapeutic benefit for every person, every human being. Why do I say that? THC, even though it causes euphoria, it also has healing powers. I already told you about nausea. I can tell you it has benefits for people with epilepsy. But because we are not studying it adequately, some of the benefits of this chemical cannot come to bear because we don't study it enough. The big pharma doesn't want to go out there and spend a lot of money because there is no way they are going to make money with this particular compound until it is completely shut down. So there is a reason why we still have a lot of negative connotation associated with cannabidiol. And I would wish that we can start changing it so that more people can start benefiting. So this cannabidiol interacts with our own body proteins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a lot of good information. Turathoma maundu mavata muno gikorwo ni wiguite andu aingi muno makiaria uhoro wa CBD oil na tuindo tungi tuingi. We're going to look at these products and what they treat. But first of all, we needed to know the history behind all these. Na niki giki giatumire andå mambĩrĩrie kũmĩmena kũmĩthũkia kumbe nĩ kwaga information ta rĩu ũguo tũkĩaria ũhoro wa CBD rĩu kwĩ mũndũ ũngĩkira hau oige captain ũraria ũhoro wa vangi ũnjĩrire nĩ ũkũnjĩra ũtiganu by the way.
Haya, rĩu marijuana ĩrĩ marĩtwa maingĩ, ĩtagwo marijuana, ĩtagwo ganja, ĩtagwo fangi, and the story ũrĩcenjagia based on where it is growing. So different communities have a different name for it. For example, when it arrived in the Kenyan coast in the 1400s, when the Chinese arrived on our east coast in the 1400s. So that is when cannabis first comes to East Africa. And people at the Western Noma Kwere, Ekoraga wild. It's not even, you can't even regulate it. You can grow it on a piece of land, but many people find it growing wild. Another friend of mine, Erega Kujira Ebune Koraga, na Kirenyaga. So it is a compound that is growing wild on our continent. But we have taken that plant. First, number one, we don't understand the plant. This plant changes its chemical components based on the climate and the soil type. So as it goes across the globe, as it goes to China, as it goes to Russia, as it goes to US and India, it's marijuana, it's ganja, nefagi, but it is not the same plant. In order for you to say denafagi, you have to consistently, we call them synthesize the chemical and then measure it and determine what you're actually growing. So it's just a name like any other. However, Today, we have started differentiating the plants into two. Hare fagi marijuana na hare hemp. And both of them, okay, today we have over 700 species. So there are, you can't tell them apart. You have to take the little plant and take it to the lab to determine what I'm growing. So I could be growing 3 strains of cannabis, and the 3 strains would have different properties. So they would have different concentrations of THC and CBD and other different chemicals that are present in the plant. So when we generalize it and just call it marijuana, or call it hemp, by the way, it's the same plant, just that it has different properties, different ratios that you have to actually know about before you select what you're going to take, or before you select what is beneficial to you. Now, most people or most plants that have therapeutic value will have a ratio of 1:1 CBD to THC, a ratio of 2:1 CBD to THC, a ratio of 3:1 CBD to THC. And again, please note that when I'm saying 1:1 or 2:1 or 3:1, you still have to take it in your body and try to understand what it is that you're feeling and what it is that you need. But for the most part, when you have a higher amount of CBD, when you have a high amount of CBD, you have a healing property on board. When you have little THC, it is also beneficial. It is not entirely a bad plant, no. But kometa fagire nĩ tondũ wa connotation, that connotation associated na kurevia. It takes away the benefit of that plant to a human being, and it has a lot of benefits.
Let me pause there.
Yeah, let's step back from that term so that we
Yes.
can begin to appreciate the medical value the plant has.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
If you have any question about CBD, please write it down there. We'll be able to ask the researcher, the expert. Dr. Harriet Kamendi is a professional in this. By the way, we have the person who has all the information. She has done research. She has, if you just type Dr. Harriet Kamendi, you will see so much, including companies that she worked for. The minute she got in there, the value of the stocks went up. You know, I was trying to start to look at everything here, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Let me ask you a question before we go to the next part. If you were to advise the Kenya government,
Oh my.
just like all the others, where like in the US, we have seen what they have done. If you were to advise the Kenya government about CBD, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that 2 things. One, if we are going to approve it, we need to approve it for the regular farmer to grow it. And we should not limit who can grow it. The only way we are going to learn about this plant, and the only way we are going to make sure the plant benefits the masses, is by enabling each farmer, each person to jump in as they wish. Now, why do I say this? The first thing is that the plant has medical value. People who take bangi for recreational purposes and people who need it for medicinal value are 2 different populations. Currently, according to the UNOP, it's a body that tracks madawa ya kulevya. They say that Africa is consuming the highest amount of cannabis illegally. So we don't have to worry about controlling the growth of cannabis. It's already growing illegally. The top exporters of cannabis in Africa are Morocco, and I think Kenya is right there. I wrote some numbers somewhere. But we are already growing it wild, and other people are growing it intentionally to sell. So Pagi is available to the person who needs it for recreational purposes. Mũndũ ũrĩa ũmĩbataire ya kũhonia kĩndũ nĩwe ũtaramĩona. Nocio nĩwe tũraha. That's number one. Number two, as a developing country, I think that if we want to create innovation, a little innovation space, we can use this plant. So far, the US government holds a patent on cannabidiol in the US, which means nobody can patent it. In the same patent, it lists 2,200 uses of this plant.
2,200.
2,200. So if we as a growing economy, and I applaud what Kenya is doing out there, if we as a growing economy want to quicken our pace, we can become a major supplier of cannabis products for the rest of the continent. I get it, we need to understand the science, but unless we open it up for our scientists to study it, we are not going to be able to do much. So I would urge the government to consider passing legislation and not limit it. We should go Amsterdam way, we should go South African way, or we should go Oklahoma way in the US. As in, the people who need it for medicinal purposes are going to go into a different category of their own. Mudoyo gewothe onyuaga ri, atakunywa tu, whether we legislate or not. The one who needs it for medication purposes, that particular market is a market that can be controlled by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, so that if you're claiming therapeutic value, they can verify it before the patients take it. So my bottom line is approve it for everybody to grow it. It's a healing plant. I can go into a whole biology of our body and how it responds to cannabis, but that would be a whole hour by itself.
Wow.
Yes.
This is good. We are learning, and our guest tonight is none other than Dr. Harriet Kamendi, a graduate of Howard University's Department of Pharmacology. And according to the information that is available out there, she has done quite a lot of research on this particular topic, and she has worked deeply in this. Let us look at the different diseases. Gwiciria kau ni kaundu kamwe ka bata muno. Tareke turore ni ukugwetete uhoro wa nausea na epilepsy, but would you please go a little bit deeper nigetha turore mirimu iria cannabis hihi ithondekaga?
So, in my opinion, any disease that is associated with inflammation will benefit from cannabis. What are those diseases? Let's start with pain. People who experience pain, I can assure you that I have given my products to many people with arthritis, and they all come back and tell me it is working. It alleviates that. If I may be honest, my mom, when somebody is going to Kenya, because ahaka, she's able to feel her joints. That's one. Arthritis pain, especially arthritis pain. Everybody ought to be applying. And by the way, it's just a little ointment. Sorry, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Kanetaka Vicks. Oops, Nitaka Vicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kuhutia ukehaka. Some people say they apply once a week and they are fine for the rest of the week. Some people apply every day. Some people apply twice a day. Maximum number of times you apply is twice a day. That is arthritis pain. And sports pain. If you play sports and you injure yourself, you just apply on your muscle wherever it's hurting, and the pain will resolve. Why does it resolve? Because pain is triggered by an inflammatory response. So when ogegodwa nekedo, that trauma triggers an inflammatory pathway that communicates all the way into your brain to bring back message to that place you got hurt to move it away or to protect it from further harm. So that inflammation can cascade and grow into a nagging pain. So most of it is supposed to resolve immediately, but sometimes it doesn't resolve. It just keeps going and going and going. CBD will be able to alleviate, to cut off that inflammatory pain. And then yatiga inflammation yathira mwĩrĩ waku ukahorera. Haya. Any disease associated with pain. I have had, and I've worked with a lot of patients. I've had a patient tell me that their blood pressure was controlled for the first time when they started taking CBD. I've had for that they were taking a drop. Sorry, a drop.
Products.
Yeah, so this is a drop situation. Oops. Okay. So yeah, it's a drop, literally a drop, technically. Can you see?
Yes.
Small drops. And people take a maximum of 5 drops of this particular product. And they take it over time and they say their blood pressure resolves. So some of the blood pressure, we call it idiopathic blood pressure. There is no reason why you have high blood pressure. But some people, it's because of it's triggered by your inflammatory response. Again, anxiety. People with anxiety. That one is a given. People with anxiety get relief immediately they take CBD. They also get relief when they take cannabis with THC. People with depression, it has helped some of them. There are people who have got treatment-resistant depression. I can't speak to those ones because some of them it's actually treatment-resistant and different kinds respond to different treatments. But there are people who will take CBD, and I always urge everybody to add a dose of omega-3 and also vitamin D, which is a hormone. And at that, you're taking about 5,000 units of vitamin D. So if you combine those 3, you're giving your body's immune system a chance to help you fight disease. People with, I'm not going to say diabetes because I haven't had somebody tell me their sugar came down, but for those instances where diabetes results from inflammatory processes that destroy the pancreas, again, that would help your body start to heal. I know people who have fatty liver disease. That's a long-term treatment kind of situation. So it just, what it does is it allows your body to start healing itself. That's all it does. It doesn't necessarily do 100 things. It just blocks the inflammation and allows you to start healing. What else can I think of? This one is controversial. It's been tested several times, but it's coming back in a big way. COVID has been, there are people who bounced back faster because they were taking CBD. This is not verified by the FDA, but there are people who can swear by CBD that when they started taking it, they were able to boost their immune responses and begin fighting COVID. There are also people who are on long-term COVID right now. And long-haul COVID, that's what it's being called. So people who have tested negative from COVID and then they're still getting, they're still tired, they're fatigued, they don't know what to do. Their bodies are just in a sick mode for a long time. Those people are also benefiting from CBD. And there is actually a lot of information coming through the literature. 2 days now, I've received information from some of my peers about CBD and long haul COVID. I'm trying to think. Any inflammatory disease that is out there can benefit from CBD. I've had some diseases I've never even heard of, and people who are responding to it. And I know I said epilepsy, and I've had a young man who had epilepsy who used to fall. He was on 5 drugs. 5 drugs, and none of them, he still used to fall almost 5 to 10 times a day from his epileptic seizures. And since he's been on CBD, he hardly gets any seizures. That's documented. Of course, the FDA has approved it. So I would say that's a documented use. And perhaps the last one that we are exploring is addiction. Individuals who are addicted to other drugs. Cannabis is being used as a harm reduction agent. Harm reduction, why harm reduction? Of course, I already told you that if you take THC, it has a recreational, it serves a recreational purpose. It's like alcohol or cigarettes. So, cigarettes, we all know the ills of cigarettes. They cause cancer, they cause, you name it, cardiovascular disease, they cause a lot of disease, respiratory disease, and we have documented that. We have alcohol, it causes liver, fatty liver, that which progresses into cirrhosis and it can kill you. And so, CBD is being touted as an agent for getting people to stop taking harmful drugs. There is already evidence in the literature that suggests that if you take CBD, you can stop taking heroin, you can stop taking any opiate for that matter, not just heroin. You can also stop taking, there's evidence for cocaine, there's evidence for amphetamines, there's evidence for alcohol, and there's evidence for cigarettes.
Wow.
So all those are therapeutic indications that are out there that could possibly benefit from cannabis use. My proposition to everybody is they should have one of these and one of these in their medicine cabinet, just like you have Tylenol and ibuprofen.
Let me come to that specifically. We're going to talk about the products specifically, and then we'll know, like one is asking, where can I get them? Where can I get these products? Before we get to that, I will come into the questions. I can see very positive and very good questions. We'll handle those ones right away. Before then, Ketobe Toshokia Gado, thank you so much, Marianne Gadaya, Sande Sana Mary Jenga, I see Magi Maisha, Karawamushie, Bedige Shohi Kumakolia Jamhuri, I think, Anastasia from Dubai, Kate Lawrence, how are you, my sister? Wanjiko Perpetua, how are you, Shiko? You know I miss you so much. Happy New Year. Ugena Mahida Mega. Auntie Mary Kane from Indiana. Geithiria ndagitari hau uguo ikarite na mundu gwitwo Mama John haria maikarite ndiramo na makiria tuthukuma. Denimo, I hope you are there. Thank you so much. Mundu gwitwo Dutawanya Irogwe Canada. Aida Gekuru kuria gwitagwo St. Louis. Immaculate Kiroe, thank you so much. Mwana wito, I hope you're doing all right. Wageshi Rachel, thank you so much. Annabelle, asanteni sana. Mary Wairimo, asanteni sana. I see all of you. Mudogo to Joseph Mushina, no ake igwa deto hali aide. Mudogo to thank you, Aboholero Hawe. Wagoi, thank you so much. Mudogo to Jorogewa Ginyo. Hey, send in those messages. Send in those messages and give us a like, a flower, a love. Ziweke zote, ziweke zote. Thank you so much, Barneys. I really wanted you to be here. You are just the best. I love you so, so much. Say hello to that boy and say hello to the dad. You are just so blessed. We love you. Ndũmĩrĩri ĩmwe ya kĩrĩa haha ũguo nĩgetha tũke tũmenye ũhoro wa the product and where we can get them, and then nĩũgũcokia ciũria cigana na ci haha. Thank you so much. This is the Trumpet of Hope, broadcasting from the great state of Texas. Come back. Jitago Captain Njoro Jerry, and tonight we have Dr. Harriet Kamendi. Dr. Harriet Kamendi is just the best when it comes to the issues of CBD nĩ gũtũtarĩria maũndũ maingĩ mangĩ, but right now, before we answer that question on the product, can you take it if you are not sick? Etagwo Mĩrĩ wa Irimũ.
Kũrĩ andũ manyuaga generally, just like that, without any need. Yes. It is not harmful for any reason. Actually, the only people we urge caution for are the people who are taking a lot of medicines. So if you have comorbidities, and that means if you have, say you have high blood pressure and you also have diabetes, then we urge caution because the drugs you're taking can interact with CBD or CBD can interact with them. So
Okay.
we don't want people to get harmed by adding CBD. CBD in itself is not harmful, but what has been shown is that if you take it with some drugs, it can increase the drug levels, and so you want to be aware of what it is you're taking.
There's Kamau Peter G. There's this CBD lower in THC than the real weed. Is it harmful?
No. So let me take a step back. So all these strains I was talking about, there are 700 strains. They have different ratios of CBD to THC. Some have higher THC, some have higher CBD. So when you're taking it, if you have a medical card, it means you can take medical marijuana, which means that you have to really try to figure out which plant works for you. Not every plant works for everybody. If you don't have a medical marijuana card, you're relegated to the hemp side, and hemp CBD is available everywhere. However, you have to be very careful what your source is because your source might not have any CBD in it. So because the government is not regulating this industry, anybody can make the product. So the trick is to know who your manufacturer or your provider is and stick to them because I know for sure that there's a time one of my colleagues has tested products from many different sources and found little to no CBD in them. So you're just taking coconut oil for that matter, which is MCT oil, and gaining nothing. So many people will come back and say, I took it and I felt nothing. Yeah, perhaps your product had nothing in it. That's why you're not feeling anything. But any product with a level of CBD, ours probably has maybe 50 milligrams per mil. You will not live without some effect in your body. So.
Shilo Africa, thank you so much. Madam President, nice to see you. Medicinal cannabis is available in US. That is Shilo Africa. Where can you buy the products? Can we first of all handle the products that you deal with in your organization, and then we check on where you can get them?
So at the moment, you can buy our products from a website called usmj.com.
usmj.com.
Yes. And we have just the sublingual drops. We also have a body cream, not a cream, but a body balm. So like the one I just showed you, which is an oil-based one. And so you can buy those. We are getting ready to ramp up more. So we will have more products on the website shortly. We'll have a sports brand, a sports line. That's what we are calling it shortly. And as well as other products. But by far, the most important products are the hemp body cream and the oil drops, the sublingual drops. Those are the most appropriate. In the future, I do hope to have a film, a small film that you can put under your tongue, like a chewing gum, but it melts there. But we haven't finished developing that yet. So
let me ask you. Tamonia rĩngĩ tatuonie iria wĩna cio nĩgetha
Okay, so this one is maya ni maguta. It's a maguta. Like Vaseline, like Vicks.
Okay.
Oops. Okay, I don't know how to go on the camera. Okay.
No, that's okay.
See? So you just grab a little. Oops. I don't know how to go left and right on camera.
Because if you go right, the
Yeah.
camera
Yep.
goes left.
Yep. And I'm handicapped in left, right. So that's oil. That's an oil base. Yep. And that one and this other one, the sublingual drop.
Okay.
These are the best products, I would say. Some people have it in tablets, but these sublingual drops go under your tongue.
Like there give me, or I can
Yeah.
end up going.
So there are people who take 1 drop and it's enough. There are people who have to take 5 drops. I recommend 5 drops. Yeah. So the total dose comes to approximately 35 to 50 milligrams per day. Now that is much lower than what is being given for epilepsy. So I personally, and these studies are outstanding, and we shall be, as soon as we are at a good place, we should be doing some of these studies so that we can actually inform you better what exactly you're taking and what exactly it's interacting with.
Thank you
That's
so
the
much.
place we haven't been able to go to yet.
Now tell me, if I take that, I'm a nurse, or rather, I'm a driver, and I'm supposed to go for drug test.
DOT.
What will happen?
So far, people have taken our cannabidiol, hemp-derived cannabidiol, and they have not tested positive for THC. So currently, the DOT exam tests for THC only. There is no CBD test. And yes, it's interesting that CBD is approved by the federal government, number one, but CBD is also under siege from the federal government. So one arm of the federal government authorizes its use. The Farm Bill brought it into the USDA and the Farm Bill brought it into being. But the Department of Transportation says no, we are not going to remove it from the DOT screen. So it is still there. So for any driver I have many people who don't take it because they get drug tests at work. And one of the drugs they are looking for is THC. So they are afraid that if you take CBD, it will be detected in the urine test. And there are people who have shown that if you put this CBD in acid, it will turn into THC. And our stomachs have got acid and we are swallowing it. So they assume that it will convert to THC. That has not happened yet, but that is a theoretical fact. And it is out there and we cannot discount it.
Oh, very good. Actually, Joseph Moshina asked that right away. If tested for drugs, can you test positive for marijuana if taking the products?
Yeah, I haven't had anybody test. However, I will tell you this. Please note that if you don't know what your source of CBD is, you could end up in trouble because so currently you're required to self-regulate as you grow the hemp. The farmers who grow hemp are supposed to self-regulate. And they're supposed to make sure the hemp has less than 0.3. However, we know for a fact that they are harvesting hemp that has higher than 0.3. So they're out of compliance. And they take that hemp. I mean, if I grew tomatoes and they had THC, I'm not throwing my tomatoes out. So they don't throw it out and they go ahead and make the product. Who's the person who's going to take who's going to bear the brunt of having high THC in their system? It's the person who bought the CBD oil. And therefore, however, now for those people who do DOT exams, there are CBD only products, and maybe that's what you should try to take.
CBD only product. No igwa
Yeah.
mushina.
Mm.
The other issue is somebody who asked me this privately. She is taking care of a patient who has a cancer that is really
Mm.
painful. What would you recommend to them? You mentioned of the nausea and many other things.
I would recommend they get a medical marijuana card immediately. And that's because when you have the medical marijuana card, you can experiment more with the different ratios. Sometimes it's CBD. So cancer is a lot of diseases, is many diseases. We call them cancer, but there are many different diseases. So many people will respond differently to different kinds of treatments. That's the same case with marijuana and with cancer and marijuana. So I would say the medical marijuana card is the best. Get one and then test all those, test a few plants, a few ratios. You don't have to go out on a limb. You can take a product with high THC and low CBD, and if it doesn't work, you switch to a high CBD and low THC. If it doesn't work, you go one to one. So three products that you can use actually very quickly to tell you where you are.
Thank you so much. Dr.
Yeah.
Harriet, can it help kids with autism?
Sanjay Gupta had a whole episode on that 2 weeks ago. Is it 2 weeks ago? Maybe a friend of mine texted me because she knows I love this. Yes, kids with autism receive a calming effect from CBD. How does it work? We don't even know how autism occurs. So we are not even going to speculate on how it works. What I know is that that man Sanjay Gupta is what is he? He's a commentator for CNN, and he was once touted to be the Surgeon General. And when he started this CBD journey, he was as skeptical as everybody else. But today he recommends it, and I actually saw he has a product line that he developed. Just you can't go into cannabis and come out the same. I can tell you that. And by the way, most of the people who invest in this industry have got family members that are suffering from something, and conventional medicine has failed to help them, and CBD has changed their story. That's why people invest. The people who invest in it invest in it.
Thank you. So, do
Yes.
you use for this for these autistic children? Do you use the sublingual drops, or do you use the?
So for children, you have if your child is compliant, you can work with them with the sublingual drops. If they are not compliant, you might have to have, and I've told people this, you might have to take the cream and rub it on the temples or at the back of the neck. Those are areas of the body that have high blood flow. So you can massage it into their neck, the back of their neck, or massage it over here, and see if it can get absorbed that way.
Thank you.
Yes. So
Awesome.
yeah, that if they take sublinguals, you can give them. If they don't take sublinguals, but they like to drink something, you can also put it in that something. But note that when you put it in a liquid, a water-based something, it doesn't combine. So you'd have to make sure they drank everything, and you might have to put a little bit more so they get the full dose.
Oh, really? That's another
Yes.
one. So,
Yeah.
the that a drop doesn't combine with the.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there are people saying that you can put it in water. I haven't seen a product in water, and I think on USMJ we have CBD water. You can try that. However, that's a different CBD form, so I'm not sure. In order for it to go into solution in water, it has to be there are a few things they have to do to micronize it and then suspend it in water. So you can try that too, but I'm not sure. But then the sublingual drops, you can add it to the food they like to eat, by the way. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. You can also use it in baked foods. You can cook with it. or you can cook separately and add it to food, a little food, and make sure they take a bite and they swallow it. So there are many ways of getting it in, and I always when I have to respect the struggle of parents who are raising their children with autism, and the struggle they experience every day with the kids they are raising. That so you have to kind of think outside the box to figure out how to get these guys to take their medicine. There are also chewing gums. There are also gummies. We don't have gummies yet. We are going to have them soon. So there are gummies and there are chewing gums. And what else? That's it. And then we also have
I'm
a
just
product that that is supposed to be absorbed on the sublingual on this side. I just used this, my little butter. But then we also have other products for migraines. I forgot to say people who suffer from migraines benefit from CBD. I'm sorry.
This is very interesting. It is getting interesting. Hi, by the way, um, uh, I've not, I don't have the products here with me, so don't ask.
If somebody would like to try, they can inbox me.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. This is interesting. Does CBD give relief to people suffering from atopic eczema or something like that?
Yep, I've had, yes. In fact, this same again, like I said, this one to me, this is perhaps the best product ever. I gave it to a girl one time, and then she comes back. She used it for. She asked me for the product because she wanted to use it for premenstrual pain, which it works for. And then she comes back and tells me, "Oh yeah, by the way, it healed my pimples." So I didn't ask her to do that, but that was an added benefit. So yes, it is good for skin conditions. Um, the dose, I've seen products at 200 milligrams, 300 milligrams, 900 milligrams. If you want to try, inbox me. I can send you some. You see if it works for you.
Thank you. Let's have your inbox so that I can put it right here.
Okay.
As you do that, I allow me to share this website as a screen so that people can see. And maybe at the end of this program, I'm having a lot of good shares from this big. All right, allow me to share this. This is the website, by the way. True?
Yep, that's it.
This is the website, and you
Yes.
can see they have so much. By the way, I looked at the shares, the stock. If you go to this company, man, it is at the stock. Is it called the stock exchange or whatever?
We are hoping to go up to $1. Maybe then
I'm
we can do
telling.
a lot more.
Yeah,
So
these are the.
it's the same, that's the same thing as this guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we'll have it in this container too. That is like a roll-on.
Oh, beautiful. That's a roll on.
Mm-hmm.
Lilian Noigua.
And
And
that's,
then,
yeah, the other one is a little sublingual drop. So these are the CBD waters that I was talking about.
okay.
Yeah.
So, unflavored water, the lemon, lime, whatever. There are so many products, bestsellers.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is the website. It's called USMJ. You can go and check and even learn more about even vendor inquiries, maybe investor relations. You can check and see what you need to know about this great information or great company. We are together with Dr. Harriet Kamendi. And it feels good to listen to this very important information. So if somebody wants to get to you, apart from the website, and if at all they want to maybe write you a message or even inbox you, where will they get that?
So I'll give you my number. It's 240.
Can
You want me to?
somebody please write there? I can actually put it here: 240
565
565
8933.
8933.
Yes.
Very good. Very, very, very good. So you can get that one. You can write that number somewhere for yourself. You can actually text, you can WhatsApp, and Dr. Harriet Kamendi will be able to take care of you. Uh, Allow me to do this also here, so that if somebody is that the number, I think, yeah? Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
So you can write, you can text, and you can ask a question, you can buy, and that will be good. Boro San, okay. Then there's Sylvia, does CBD give relief to people with the topic? I think we answered that. Thank you, Mary. I see you're very sharp on that, and that becomes very good. So as we give a conclusion, I don't know what you would wish to say that we have not said.
What would I like to end with? I would like to say that I know a lot has been said over the last many years about marijuana as a plant, and I wish that we would just think outside the box for a minute, because if we do not attempt to change the story, we will continue to we will continue to lower our quality of life for no reason. So I think that if we open our minds out to other kinds of therapeutic agents, we will find that we can improve our quality of life with very little harm brought to us.
Awesome.
So not to belittle any kind of treatment, but if you for many people, they have to reach the end of the road on conventional therapeutics before they can jump to the cannabis side. But if you're there and you want to try, please try. There is no harm done. The only caution I wish to give everybody is to know that this is what we call a mom and pop industry. So as you buy your products, if you don't have any benefit, probably there is no CBD or THC in it for that matter. If you have an ailment that really is debilitating, consider getting a medical marijuana card. There's nothing wrong with marijuana. It's a plant like any other, and it's a plant that has a lot of medical and lifestyle benefits for many people. So with that, I would say thank you.
Thank you
And
so, so much.
yeah, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me with them, and I can answer to the best of my ability.
Thank you so much. I think I've done so many programs, and this one has made me feel so good. I'm so happy. Thank you for Dr. Harriet Kamendi. And once again, Dr. Harriet Kamendi is born in Kenya, went to school in Kenya, came here, and continues with that. And maybe on the side, would you encourage somebody, a Kenyan out there, our young people, our youth, our ladies who would sometimes we feel like our education is not the best. So can you please say something about your career development that would encourage a Kenyan youth out there or a Kenyan woman out there?
So, just a brief history of my educational path. I went to Mary Hill High School. I graduated, went to Egerton. And up to that point, my journey was set. I was a university graduate. I expected to do well. But then at the time I was coming out, no jobs. So one alternative was to come out to the West. When I arrived here, I didn't have any particular goal. I knew what I wanted to do, and I think I've stayed my path. And my goal was to work with medicine. That's a very broad goal, because it doesn't say what it is that you want to do with that medicine. However, I must say that I benefited from many giants that led me to this point. So I started out with people who threw out ideas, and they asked me to consider, and I took each idea, and I tried many of them, trust me. But then I did end up going to graduate school. So the first 2 years were a bit like, what am I going to do? How am I going to end up where I'm going? So I ended up, for no reason, taking a second degree that I didn't need, but still it gave me the chance to go to Howard University. So I went in there, and when I went to that school, I did find a professor who guided me into Howard University. He took me, molded me, and made me go. So the first thing that the first lesson I learned is that you never go somewhere because you have money. You go somewhere because you desire to go there. If you think, if you make your plans based on when you will have money, you will never go anywhere. So if you have a dream, if you have a vision, say you want to go to a certain school, start by applying to that school. Don't say, when I get money, I'll apply. No, just go to the school. I have my testimony, and I have my friends' testimonies of coming to a place without a single coin and walking out with a degree. Not because you are better than anybody else, but because you showed up, because you are present and you could be counted.
Very
So
good.
if you want to go somewhere, don't put artificial barriers on your journey. Go there. Sometimes you will show up there and you will be surprised at what you find on the other side. So my journey from Kenya to Coppin State all the way to Howard University was unlikely, because I hadn't thought it through. It was just me showing up somewhere with a half baked idea and talking to people. That's the other thing I do. I talk a lot. I think I have a lot of saliva, so I talk to many people. I try to find out what's going on somewhere. If I show up somewhere, I want to leave with information that I can share with others.
True.
In sharing, I have gained a lot of knowledge. Once I finished Howard University, that was a degree in pharmacology. There, we were told two things: you can either go back and teach or try to go to industry, but nobody said what I could do in industry. So again, it's an empty slate. And I knew one thing: I did not want to teach. So because I did not want to apply for grants, because it seemed like, and that, but that's because that's all I had seen behind me. My teachers, that's all they did. And when they were applying for grants, they were very mean, is what we used to say, me and my friends. So I didn't want to go back there. But then I come out and I want to join, I want to do something. So I go into this postdoc, and then I do work for them. My boss was awesome in this postdoc, and he grew me in so many ways. And then I left his lab and went to the industry. But when I got there, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought when I got to the company, AstraZeneca, I was going to learn how to make drugs. But then I get there and they're not even making drugs over there. It's another whole journey. So now I start breaking down that particular piece. How do we do this? So in this country, you're taught to think about the only place where, that little space where you sit. You're not supposed to see the big picture. But if you want to fulfill your dream, you have to try and step out of that hole and see the big picture. So I've said two things. Don't wait to have money before you start your living your dream. Number one, and number two, talk to people, because in my community, in my mom, you always told us adonado,
True.
and I cannot tell you how true that statement is. And when she said it, I had no idea what she was saying. But people are wealth, and not just money wealth, but information wealth. They are shoulders that you can climb on to go where you're going. And the third thing is share with everybody, because in sharing, you also receive. As much as I share, is as much information as people. I can tell you today, just today, I have been called by 5 people telling me about the one thing I'm trying to find. And I didn't call them. I didn't tell them what I was looking for. They just happened because I share with them. They also call me when they hear something. They'll call me to say, "Hey, Harriet, have you had 1, 2, 3?" Because because ideas do not find you in isolation.
True.
So
Quotable
I did,
quotes.
yeah, I did leave AstraZeneca because I didn't feel like my vision was going to be fulfilled there. And I'm still looking for to fulfill my vision, which is to create a big manufacturing company in Kenya that does drug development from scratch, from cradle to grave. So from scratch all the way to a drug in the clinic. And I think I'm going to get there one day if I keep talking to everybody I talk to and if I keep doing what I'm doing. So talk to people a lot. Don't wait to start a journey until you have everything in place. And last but not least, I'll say pray, 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 pray. It doesn't have to be a long prayer, 24 hours. Just tell God what you're looking for. And there are times you're defeated and you just can only say one word. Me, I only say please because I know He can see what I'm asking for. So I say please and He answers. So,
Wow.
yes.
Dr. Harriet Kamendi. Oh my goodness, this is powerful. So, quotable quotes that we are going to take home. One is, you don't go somewhere because you have money. You go because you have the desire to go. That has been taken by Anne Kamau and written it here. Brandy's Karaoke. Thank you, Dr. Kamendi, for all the advice, guidance, and support through the years. You are the best mentor. I think that is so nice.
Thank you, Banis.
Margaret Kamoyo says, I need CBD cream for my mom arthritis. I think we shared the number.
Yes.
And you can get the number, Margaret, and please, you can call or text. We shared the number. Or you can just go to the usmj.com. The other one says, Kenyan leaders need to hear this. And I think that is very, very true. Mary Wairemo says all the best. There's something that I wrote here. Ideas don't find you in isolation. I think that is the best closing remarks. Thank you so much.
Can
Dr.
I close?
Harriet.
Can I give one more?
Yes, please.
Chance favors the prepared.
Chance favors the prepared.
Yes.
Beautiful. Did you hear that? You better prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Daktari. I think that was a beautiful program. I feel so achieved. And I look forward to hearing very good reports from our viewers. And if you want to make an order, or if you want to ask a question, usmj.com, or you just call Dr. Harriet Kamendi. The number is 240-565-8933. 240-565-8933. Thank you so much, Daktari. I wish you a good night. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having me, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful program. I wish to say thank you so much for having us and for listening to this program. Please, if it was good, you can share with a friend. You can tell somebody about it. And if you want to be part of our program, please just keep supporting us. One of the things that you can do is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The other thing that you can do is to send your support to us financially. It is important. Our numbers are on the screen. Our numbers are on the screen. We have about three numbers up there. The Cash App number for our CFO 240575047, or you can get those who are international, the 0724654007, or my number right here, 978-227-6484. Thank you so much. Have a good night and God bless you. Thank you, Kamau Peter G. And Kamau, thank you so much. Magimaish, thank you so much. Margaret Kamoyo, asante. Sasa ni kuenda naenda. Perisi Joroga Wajeri, thank you mono. That's my daughter. Sally Nyox, asante sana. Nathaniel Vaya. Dutawanya Iroko, thank you, Canada. Ann Kamau, asante. Mary Wangari. Thank you, Bunnies. You know I love you so much. Salimia mtoto na dadi yao. Come now, asante. Si umesikia maneno come now. Mary Gish. Liliana Jude. Asante sana. Niseme nini? Kwa heri. Kwa heri. No Shiroka. By the way, uchukue kura na Kenya tupendane. Tupige kura vizuri kwa amani. Zedizina, double Z. You know I love you so much. Kukula Krismasi peke yako, kuruka mwaka peke yako. Umesikia venye tumeambiwa? Ideas don't find people in isolation. Kwa hivyo, ungekenya dikira ka WhatsApp ugeithiere. Kana we oguo tu. Ndigo kemenya tulio hamwe. Kana nuonete mawega na kuu uguo. Ati anasema kwa heri. Gima Alice Nwoka nguthie turathie ucokere programu yo thome maundu maria tuguthomaga. Naitana kiumagara viole. Tondũ ndigũcoka rĩngĩ ndikwaria rĩngĩ thaa ici rĩ ndũkĩre Kenya Bengo ririkania ũhoro wa kĩndũ gĩtagwo Bountiful Safaris. Aikorwo wĩ kũrĩa Jamhuri na nĩũrenda gũthiĩ gũcera handũ, this is Bountiful Safaris website ĩtagwo www.bountifulsafaris.com. Let me tell you something, this is the best company when it comes to the tours and travel. Ũngĩenda gũthiĩ gũcera handũ 2022 ũngĩtuĩka atĩ nĩ ũkwenda gũtua itua rĩa gũthiĩ gũcera kũndũ gwĩtagwo Mambatha, nĩ ũkwenda gũthiĩ Watamu, nĩ ũkwenda gũthiĩ Masai Mara, nĩ ũkwenda gũthiĩ Amboseli, we have all these packages on our website. Masai Mara, agikorwo nĩ ũkwenda gũthiĩ Mombatha, agikorwo nĩ ũkwenda gũthiĩ honeymoon 2022, gaitha witũ nĩ arathimĩte andũ. Riu uria gwika ri ni kuhura thimu ino either hore thimu kana thie thini wa website. Packages cia honeymoon cihana to no igua ngimales ketu hapa uruko hana ate dutawanya irogoro iga. That was awesome. Ketu Paul, I have missed you so much. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. Na ugekienda guthie Kenya gucera honeymoon package yako ndugwitagwo Mount Kenya region thiko inya, kana ni ukwenda guthie thiko ithano Mount Kenya, kana ni ukwenda guthie Masai Mara thiko cigana ona, kana ni ukwenda guthie thiko Kinyando no mathia thiko mugwa thiko 10 honeymoon. Oh yes. Ugekienda guthie bush na beach honeymoon package 14 days. Inakuwa maridadi, abiriria gwivanga tene ni tene. This is by Bountiful Safaris. Kabuni ya Bountiful Safaris will take care of you when it comes to honeymoon. Kegwikire namba icio haha itanoima, kegwikire namba icio haha ogwa nigetha ucione. Ni todo wa mundu kwenda kuhura thimu yo hai thaa ici. You can WhatsApp or call 0724840482. You know kaundu kangi ungika tari thaa ici maitå å cio wa gå ciarire rä kana baba wanyu å cio wa gå thondekire rä nä arutire wä ra mwega piå akä rutanä ria makä ingä ria mbaå aingä ria mbaå å gä tuä ka we å gä kä mwega package kamwe uge atä rä rä baba ngwenda å thiä å kerorere nyamå cia gä thaka å thiä Masai Mara kana å thiä Amboseli kana å thiä Elementaita å thiä wikare kuu kana å thiä Mombatha å gathambä re å marä hä re tigiti mena må tumia å cio wa kå rehire thä no mathiä Bountiful Safaris will take care of that. That is a parental blessing. Aikoni kwenda kairitu kau koige yes Valentine ino twina packages cia Valentine thaka na njega thä wa Bountiful Safaris. So God bless you so much. Let's do that. Have a good night and may your dreams come true. Ririkana, ideas don't find you in isolation. Good night.